Welcome to episode number 99. I've got 99 problems, but books ain't one. I'm sorry, that was horrible. But anyways, today we are talking about my top 10 books of 2020. I love to read, and I went through a lot of books this year, and so I'm going to give you the top 10 books that I enjoyed in my life that I think can help you improve yours as well. Stay tuned. So the big question is, how do ambitious people like us, who grew up listening to the old advice of go to school, work hard for 40 years, and retire when you're old, create a life today that is meaningful, abundant, healthy, and brings joy, while also leading a life that is productive and full of achievement? That is the question, and this is the podcast that'll help give you the answers that you're searching for. My name is Del Denny, and welcome to the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Hey, my friends, this is Del Denny, and before we get into today's podcast, I wanted to ask you a question. Have you ever wondered what your purpose in life is? Or do you feel you're just going through the motions, wake up, go to work, pay the bills, go to sleep, and repeat? Too many people are just going through the motions. Many people are feeling burned out, and many people are wondering if there's more to life than what's in front of them. And that's why I created a free audio training called How to Find Your Purpose. When you find out what your individual, unique purpose in life is, it'll change your life forever. Imagine waking up every day and feeling alive, happy, and vibrant because you know your purpose. Well, I've put together a free audio training for you, my friends, to help you find your purpose. It's a 4-step framework that'll help solve your individual, unique purpose in life. Inside this program, you'll also learn 8 strategies to live a more vibrant life. Head on over to deldenny.com and click free training at the top. That's deldenny.com and click free training, or you can look in the show notes of this podcast for the link as well. Now, without further ado, on to today's podcast. What is going on, my friends? Del Denny here, and it's a time for reflection. This is going to be a fun podcast, as we wrap up 2020. It's getting to be the end of the year, and I want to share with you 10 books that I really enjoyed this year. Now, I tend to read a book a week on average. I love reading, whether it's through physical books, whether it's audio books. Sometimes it's electronic books, ebooks, but mostly it's audible, mostly it's physical books. And I wanted to share with you 10 books that I read this year that I really, really enjoyed, and you might enjoy them too. And so I call this my top 10 books for 2020. Now, I will say this, not all of these books were written in 2020. These are just books that I read or reread that I really, really enjoyed. And so let's just jump right into this. Now, number 10, this is going to be an easy book. It's not a very hard read, so to say, but this one is called Wall and Peace, and it's by Banksy. Now, if you know who Banksy is, he's a famous street artist, graffiti artist. He does work all over the world, and I've really come to love his work. I think the first time I bumped into one of his artworks was in Salt Lake City. Then I bumped into another one in Paris, France. And whenever I travel the world, I actually try to look out for his artwork. And I really love his artwork. Anyways, he created a book a long time ago, and this was given to me as a gift, and kind of explains his mission in life. And he's kind of a disruptor. And I really like that. So it's really cool. So that's my number 10 book. Now, number 9 book is called Creativity, and that's by John Cleese. And he is a famous actor. You've probably known him. He's a British actor. And this is all about creativity. And it's a very, very short read. You could probably read it in one sitting. I did. And it's about, how do you get creative? How do you draw that inspiration to get to be creative? What are some do's and don'ts to it? Very, very, very good book. Definitely check that out. Simple. It's called Creativity. All right. Now, number 8. This is a kind of a biography / memoir by Matthew McConaughey. It's called Green Lights. I really didn't know much about Matthew McConaughey Before this, I just kind of knew him from, romantic comedies that he's in and Dallas Buyer Club. But I had no clue of what an interesting guy this guy is. I was really impressed by him, the way that he handles life. I mean, he's really out there. I'm going to say that. He comes from an interesting family background. But I absolutely enjoyed this book. It's a really, really good read. A lot of anecdotes, really funny. Kind of laugh, you'll cry type book. Really, really good. Now, number 7, this is more of an internet marketing type of book. If you're into marketing, you'll like this. If not, no big deal. You can skip right over. I run an internet business, so I like this book. It's called Traffic Secrets by Russell Brunson. It's his latest book of his trilogy, The Expert Secrets, .com Secrets, and now it's Traffic Secrets. And I really enjoyed this because for me, you think about, he made a really good point in this book. It's that, let's say Facebook were to end, how would you drive business to your website? Well, you have to know some different ways to create traffic. And he kind of calls it the Thanos snap. If you ever saw Avengers and you remember Thanos, he snapped and everything went away. Well, that can happen too in the different marketing aspects like Facebook. If Facebook went away or Instagram went away, how would you still run your business? And so it's a great book on how to get traffic to your website. All right, if you like that, awesome. If not, no big deal. Let's go on to the next one. This is also a marketing book. I like marketing. This is called Marketing Made Simple. It's by Donald Miller. You may know him from StoryBrand. And it's about how to basically craft a good website. What does a good website entail? What's the storyline that has to be? What do you put in? And especially, what do you not put in? Number 5. Now, I reread this book. Number 5 is High Performance Habits. This is by Brendon Burchard. The person that certified me as a high performance coach. I reread this book because I wanted to develop a higher level of mastery when it came to high performance habits. Absolutely great read. Highly, 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 highly recommend. And it's really about 6 habits that high performers use and sustain success. Doesn't matter your background, doesn't matter your college education, doesn't matter your gender, none of that matters. It's what it really is. It's a study of high performers, and it boiled down into these 6 common characteristics that high performers had. So definitely grab that book. Highly, highly recommend it. All right, number 4 is Limitless by Jim Kwik. Now, this is a phenomenal book. Well, why is it a phenomenal book? Because it's really about optimizing our brain, performing at a higher level. And I wish I got this book years ago. For me, the reason why I can read a book a week is because I learned how to speed read. And there's these different techniques that I've learned and developed over the years. It's been years in the making of how to learn more efficiently. And that's really the secret sauce for me getting ahead, is just learning how to optimize the way that I learn. That way that I can also teach the things that I learn. Well, in Limitless, it takes about 10 years of study for me, and it has compacted it down into a quick read, and you'll find that in Limitless. It just really talks about how the brain works, how to study better. Phenomenal read. All right, number 3, The Decision by Kevin Hart. This is an audiobook, and it's just Kevin Hart dishing out wisdom on business, life. Kind of becomes your life coach. It's pretty cool stuff. I really like Kevin Hart. He's a funny guy, uber successful, and he tells it like it is. Very, very good read. So The Decision by Kevin Hart. Number 2, this is more of a medical type book, a little more scientific, but it does have some good stories in it. It's called Change Your Brain, Change Your Life by Dr. Daniel Amen. Now, this is all about the science of the brain. All it is about the brain, the different parts of the brain, what it controls, and really talks about, if you're struggling with a certain part of your life, well, it might be because of the wiring of your brain. I'll give you an example. For myself, I learned that I have a overactive basal ganglia, which is this little part of the brain that controls your attention and actually lack of attention. And those that have overactive basal ganglia, like myself, this is what I learned. We tend to be more anxious. I'm definitely an anxious person. Tend to bite your nails, worry about things. And he also goes on to say that a study was done that most CEOs, 90% of CEOs, also have an overactive basal ganglia. It's how you get stuff done. And long story short, it talks about your brain type, how to supplement for your brain. Walnuts, I eat now. I put it in my smoothie because that helps with brain health. Magnesium, definitely supplement with that because of this book. And it just helps your brain to fire on all cylinders. All right. Now, speaking of that, let's get into the number one book that I read this year. This was my favorite because it was all about optimizing your life. And this book is by Aubrey Marcus. It's called Own the Day, Own Your Life. Optimized practices for waking, working, learning, eating, training, playing, sleeping, and sex. Yep, that's right, sex. And it goes into all those characteristics there on how to optimize your life. And I absolutely love this. This guy tells it like it is. Doesn't hold back. If you're offended easily, well, you may not want to read this book. He just lays it out. There's definitely cussing. There's definitely crazy stories in there. But there's a lot of science behind it too. And I really enjoyed that book, Own the Day, Own Your Life by Aubrey Marcus. Now, those are my top 10 books of 2020. My question is, what would you add to that list? What was a book that you really, really enjoyed for 2020? What book would you add to the list? Post it on Instagram. Let me see it. Shoot me a DM. What book did you like that should have been on that list? Anyways, that's Del Denny's top 10 list of books for 2020. I hope you enjoyed that. This is Del Denny signing off. Remember, learn, lead, and live to your full potential. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. If you've enjoyed this episode, please share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the show on iTunes to get automatic episode updates for the Upgrade Your Life podcast. And finally, please take a minute to leave us an honest review and rating on iTunes. Your feedback really helps us out when it comes to the ranking of the show, and I make it a point to read every single one of the reviews that we get. So thanks for listening. Thanks for joining me on the Upgrade Your Life podcast. Have a great day.